nice soft pillow.
Hope the next one's got a broken leg. Eat! You make it look real easy. How are you, old buddy? I was just riding by. I thought I'd drop in and say hello. Hey, you remember that time we was down in Tucson? You took that job busting Bronx, huh? What do you want, Ward? I told you I was just riding by and I... Okay, so I was not exactly just riding by. As a matter of fact, I come to ask a favor of you. You want to borrow some more money, Ward? You know me pretty well, don't you, old buddy? Yeah, Ward, I know you pretty well. Well, I need $100 each. I plan to do some fixing up around that old stump ranch of mine. That's the same excuse you gave me last month to borrow $50. I've got to learn to keep my story straight, don't I? Say hello to Nora for me. Yeah. Oh, Heath, I really do need that money, old buddy. All right. I'll give you a chance to earn it. Earn? How? Break that bronc. Are you serious? Well, if that's it. That's it. Okay. Hold it, Dave. Mr. Whitcomb's gonna ride this one. Okay, Heath.
That's what we hired Dave for, to do bronc busting. What's Whitcomb doing out there?
Oh, Nick, honey, not now.
Who's this?
It isn't serious, is it?
We don't know yet. Mother, this is Ward's wife, Nora. And this is my brother, Nick.
How do you do? I'm so sorry. How did this happen?
Well, it was my idea.
Where is he?
Here comes the doctor now.
Doctor, this is Mrs. Whitcomb.
How do you do, Mrs. Whitcomb?
Oh, it's going to be all right, isn't he, Doctor?
Well, it's a little too early to tell.
Well, what is it?
His legs, they're paralyzed. Now, it could be a temporary condition, a small spinal fracture impinging on a nerve. I'm afraid only time can tell us that.
Well, there must be something you can do.
Very little, for the moment. I've given him something to reduce the pain and help him sleep. He mustn't be moved, not for the present, at least.
Can I see him?
Of course.
I'll take you up to him.
I'll drop by tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, sir. Goodbye now.
Bye.
Whitcomb ever been on a bronc before?
Accidents happen.
You're not answering the question.
I don't know.
You don't know. You put a man up on a bronc and you don't know.
Get your spurs out of me.
Heath. All right, I guess I came down a little too heavy.
Easy, boy.
What are you going to do?
Gonna break that horse?
Go ahead. Break your back, if you think it will help. Silas has some supper for you.
I'm not hungry.
Oh, Heath, it was an accident.
Nick was right. I shouldn't have made him ride that horse.
Why did you?
All of a sudden, I got fed up with him coming around asking for money. I was going to make him earn it. Well, I guess I did, didn't I?
How much money have you given him?
Around 300.
Why?
Because he's an old friend.
Is that the only reason?
When he came to Stockton a couple of months ago, he picked up the old Palmer place. And he kept talking how he's going to fix it up and settle down. I know he didn't mean it, but look, when you've grown up with someone, when you've worked with them, ridden with them, hunted with them, you can't help but feel something.
That you owe him something?
Not that exactly, but that you've got to help him. You just don't know how it was with Ward. He never could make anything work.
Did he really try?
Oh, a couple of times, but he was always getting lost in some scheme for striking it rich. And he always talked about how we were going to live off the fat of the land when he made that big strike.
But he never did. Suddenly, all of Ward's dreams came true. But not for him, for you. And now you feel guilty about it. That's the truth, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, I think Ward does. I think he wants you to feel that you owe him something.
And now I do.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, I don't know. I just felt like laughing. I remember when we used to laugh about nothing. We used to laugh all the time.
You still do.
Alone. Oh, come on, honey. Cheer up. I'm going to be out of this bed and on my feet in no time at all.
I'm sure you will.
And then you know what we're going to do?
What?
We're going to buy you a new outfit from your head to your toe and go to San Francisco and have ourselves a real time. Now, how do you like that?
I love it.
Of course, I'm going to have to mix some business with pleasure. I know some men I just might be able to get interested in that logging deal up in Montana Shad Martin was telling me about. You know, if I could bring some investors to Shad, why... Well, he'd just have to cut me in on that timber deal. You know that, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess he would.
And then we could buy us a spread just like this one. hire somebody to run it for us. Now, would that be something? To have a place just like this? Oh, I'm gonna get myself in on that timber deal of Shad some way. I'm not gonna miss this chance. I mean that, honey.
Yes, Ward.
I mean that.
Nora? I saw the doctor driving away. What did he say?
I can take Ward home tomorrow.
Home? But don't you think he ought to stay here where he can get the attention he needs?
Well, he can get all the attention he needs at home. And besides, we can't impose any longer.
You're not imposing.
All right. No, I just think he would feel better if he were at home. And I know I would. I'd just be back in my own place, in my own kitchen, and... Well, you know what a nester I am. Just don't worry about us. We'll be fine.
All right.
Mr. Wake, would you like to see him?
Morning, Nora.
Morning.
Heath. Heath, I'd like to have a word with you if I might.
Tell Ward I'll be up in a minute.
Boy, the sky's falling down. We got about a week's work to do today. West boundary fence needs mending. Got to get a crew of men to work on that road into Long Meadows. And we got about 4 or 5 broncs to bust. And old McCall says if we don't get those cows out to pasture... Oh, now, boy, you haven't heard a word I said.
Huh? Oh, sorry, Nick. I was just...
Oh, look, Heath. Take my word for it. Whitcomb's going to be all right. Now, I know a lot of men that were in worse condition than he is. And today, they're just as good as ever.
I know some men who aren't.
A good fire do wonders for this place. Easy now. Nice and gentle. Yeah, I've been meaning to do some fixing up around here, but you know me, Heath. Never do today what you can put off till tomorrow. Well, what's this?
I brought it out here this morning for you.
Oh, let's sit you down here.
Thanks a lot, old buddy. Hey, well, let's give it a whirl. This is all right, you know that? I've been wondering how I was going to get around.
Well, I better get on back.
Thanks, Nick.
No, none of that. I'll see you at home, all right?
Yeah.
Thanks for everything, Nick. Hey, Nora, why don't you get that bottle from the cupboard so Heath here and me can have a drink?
Some other time, Ward.
Oh, come on now. Cheer up. You look like you just come back from burying me.
Ward?
Well, he does. So do you. Oh, look, I know what you're thinking. Poor old Ward. Tied to a wheelchair for the rest of his life, and it's all my fault.
Ward, please.
Well, don't kid yourself, old buddy. In the first place, it wasn't your fault. Not all of it, anyway. And in the second place, I'm going to be out of this thing before you know about it. As a matter of fact, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Now, you save that bronc for me, you hear? I still want to earn that $100. Okay?
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
You do that.
Oh, no, Heath.
It's the $100 I promised Ward for riding that bronc.
Not for riding it, for breaking it. That's what Ward told me.
But how are you going to get by?
Oh, that's our problem. Ward's mine, not yours.
That goes for you too, old buddy. I might not have been able to ride that bronc of yours. But no little old wheelchair is gonna throw me and get away with it. I guess I'm gonna need your help after all, old buddy. You told me to fix that board, didn't you? Or somebody got hurt. I think I want to lie down.
No, it's all right, Abe. I can do it myself. I'll be out in a minute.
Pay cash? I could put it in the ranch account.
This isn't for the ranch. You know Mrs. Whitcomb, don't you?
Sure.
She comes in for anything. You let her have it. I'll pick up the bill later.
I heard what happened out at the ranch. It's too bad.
Yeah.
Teeth. Hello, Heath.
Hi.
What's all this?
Well, I heard Ward say you wanted to make some repairs around here. Thought I'd get started on them.
Morning. Morning, Ward.
But, Heath, you can't do that. You've got your own work at the ranch.
Now, Nora, don't argue here.
But, Ward.
Well, honey, you know Heath. Well, stubborn as a mule. Once he gets his mind set, well, there's nothing I can do about it. Leastwise, not in my present condition. You want a cup of coffee before you get to work?
No, thanks.
Can I help you?
Yeah, keep that in from sliding over, will you? Watch your finger now.
Oh, well, I guess I better go around the back way.
Now, here. Let me have that. Step up here.
Good morning, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my, aren't we all in a nice sunny humor this morning?
He's gone?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to ask where, now do I?
I suspect not.
Mm-hmm. How long is this going to be going on? He's been at the Whitcombs every day this week.
Oh, Nick, be a little patient.
Patient? How patient can I get? A lot of work to be done around here.
Now, take it easy, Nick.
Look who's talking.
Well, I think Nick's right. And since you're so relaxed about it, why don't you stay here and help out instead of going to San Francisco?
Quiet, child.
Silas!
What is it you want?
More ham.
More ham?
Well, I have to do the work for two men, so I figure I better eat the food for two men, don't you?
Absolutely.
Oh. Nora,
Hello, Ben.
you look prettier every time I see you. Where's Ward?
He's still sleeping.
Rode into town just last night. Heard what happened. It's too bad. You don't have a cup of that good coffee, yours, do you? You know, the thing I remember most when I stayed with you and Ward in Hangtown that time was your coffee. Thank you.
I'll call Ward.
Wait a minute, Nora. I want to talk to you. Look, the reason I came to Stockton was to see if Ward could pay me back the money he owed me.
What money?
I guess he never told you about it. But he borrowed $50 from me when you and him left Hangtown. Of course, I didn't know about him getting hurt, so I guess I'll just have to forget about it.
No, you don't have to forget about it. We've got the money to pay you.
It must be hard for you not to have a man around. I mean, a man to do things for you. Well, I was thinking maybe I'd hang around and give you a hand. If you've got a spare room, I'll move right in, and we ought to be able to work out something about paying that money back. Some other way.
Let me go. Let me go! No! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Let me go! Stop it!
Nora?
Stop it!
Nora!
Nora!
Sorry, friend. I didn't know there was somebody here ahead of me.
Heath? That?
What?
Listen.
Don't hear a thing? Oh, that's a whiskey jack.
A what?
A whiskey jack. They're real pesky critters. Kind of a jay. You know they'll steal side pork right out of a hot frying pan? Listen.
How'd you learn to talk to him?
Well, I'll have you know I was champion bird caller of Calaveras County before I was 10 years old.
Oh, really?
Could imitate 20 different kinds of birds. Modoc Indian taught me. That was a nice sound, too.
It's good to laugh again. Thank you for taking me to church, Heath.
Welcome. You know, you've been tied down pretty close these last couple of weeks.
Being tied down is one thing I never had enough of. I told you I'm a nester.
Most women are.
Heath. Heath, I don't want you to come around anymore. Ward is using you.
It's only been a couple of weeks, Nora.
But when does it stop? A couple months? Or a couple years? Not if Ward doesn't want it to. You know him. You know he has a way of trapping people.
Did he trap you?
Yeah, I suppose so.
But for nearly 5 years, you've stayed with him.
Well, you know where he found me. Not yet 17 and already working in a saloon. Whatever he's given me is better than that. And he loves me, Heath. He's given me that. Please stay away.
Not while he's still in that wheelchair.
Please, Heath, do as I ask you.
Nora, I don't know where it all ends. But it's not here. Not now.
Give me a beer, Milt.
Sure thing, Mr. Barkley.
Just because Whitman can't walk, don't mean he can't see.
What's going on with Barkley at that ranch every day?
Why don't he do something about it?
What can he do?
I know what I'd do if some guy was fooling around with my woman.
You'd be strung up before you knew what happened. I understand you don't kill a Barkley around here and get away with it. Not even half a Barkley. Even if he steals your wife.
I guess you boys are talking for my benefit, so I won't bother asking you to take it back. Get up. You.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Up.
Sure.
We're all thinking the same thing, Barkley.
Well, I was wondering what made this stink so bad. If you boys like to finish this outside, I'd gladly accommodate you. That goes for you too, boy. Well?
I don't think they like the odds. Okay, get out.
Hey, Milt. Let's make it whiskey this time, huh?
Good morning, Mr. Percy. How nice of you to drop by. Please sit down. May I get you something? Tea, coffee?
No, thank you. If you don't mind, I'll come right to the point of my visit.
Please do.
Mrs. Barkley, last evening at a meeting of the Board of Deacons of the church, the subject of Heath was brought up.
The subject of Heath. Now, what on earth is the subject of Heath?
The board has voiced its disapproval of Heath escorting Mrs. Whitcomb to services last Sunday.
Go on.
The deacons feel that, under the circumstances...
What circumstances?
Well, surely you've heard the talk.
No, Mr. Percy. For the purpose of this conversation, I have not heard the talk. Suppose you tell me about it.
Mrs. Barkley, you're making this very difficult.
That's my intention. For I will not get down and wallow in the mud with any self-anointed, self-righteous bigots.
Mrs. Barkley.
Does Reverend Stacy know about this visit?
Well, no. And since he is only a servant of the congregation...
Is that what he is? Well, now, that surprises me, as I'm sure it will Reverend Stacy when I tell him about it. Because I'm sure he's under the impression that he's the servant of much worthier, much higher power. Good day, Mr. Percy.
Mrs. Barkley, if I have offended you...
You have indeed. And may I suggest that you quit while you're ahead.
Good day.
Can I help you?
I might find something for you to do.
Okay.
Hold the end of this board for me.
Okay.
You calling in today?
Yeah.
Why don't you join me in a drink? Well, come on. Well, here's to, nothing.
What does that mean?
Oh, it's just the last couple of days. I don't want Nora to know. Not yet, anyway.
Know what?
I've stopped kidding myself. I'm never going to get out of this wheelchair.
Oh, Ward, don't talk like that.
Oh, I know. I know I shouldn't feel that way, but... well, I've been thinking. Nora and I can't go on living like this, Heath. Not depending on you for everything.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, you've been great. Just great. But, I want to show you something. Here. Take a look at this. Well, come on, here. I want you to read it. A man I know, Shad Martin, and I were talking about it just before the accident.
Timber?
10 million board feet of it. Just waiting to be cut and sold to the mines in Butte. Well, he already has an option on the timber. Now all he needs is a little capital to buy equipment, hire crews to start cutting. Well, it's all there. Well, take it, read it. It's solid, Heath. It's a chance of a lifetime.
How much capital?
Oh, I can get 50% of the operation dirt cheap. And you know how much the Montana mines are paying for timber? Well, it's all in there. Shad has all the facts.
How much, Ward?
$5,000. I don't want to go living on charity for the rest of my life, Heath.
Ward, I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, but your family does.
Well, yes, but I can't.
I'm not blaming you for what happened. At least wise no more than you're blaming yourself. I mean, I didn't have to ride that horse. But you knew that I wasn't a bronc rider, and that something could have happened. Oh, no, not this bad, no, but $5,000 is a lot of money, I guess. Maybe it's too much. Maybe it isn't enough. I don't know what the price of a pair of legs is. Do you?
$5,000?
I know how much I'm asking, and I know I don't have any rights.
All right. Now, you just put a cork in that kind of talk, huh?
Nick's right. This isn't only your problem, Heath. It's the whole family.
And I'd like to put a name on that little problem. It's called blackmail.
You don't think we owe him anything?
No, I'm not saying that. But I am saying he's using Heath. Heath, after all, didn't put a gun to his head to make him ride that bronc. And besides, who says that Whitcomb will never walk again? Not Doc Morar.
On the other hand, he didn't say he would either. Heath, as far as I'm concerned, you can have the money.
Thanks, Jerry.
Audra?
Well, I think Nick's right. That is blackmail. But if Heath wants the money...
Mother, what do you say?
Does Nora know about this?
I don't know. I doubt it. But she'll go along. She has to. It's either that or go back to some saloon.
No. Jared, would you go to the bank with Heath in the morning and get the money?
Thank you.
You going somewhere?
For a walk.
You don't want to be here when Heath comes with the money.
I'm ashamed, Ward. Ashamed of you for taking the money. And of myself for letting you.
Oh, why didn't you try to stop me then?
Could I stop you?
Maybe. If you'd wanted to. But you don't want to. Nora, I know what's been happening. I know you're falling in love with Heath.
What are you talking about?
No, I don't blame you. In fact, I understand.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, I do. Oh, you don't want to fall in love with Heath, but you are. And if you stay here, you will. You know there's only one way to stop it. Get away. Never see Heath again. And that's why you want the money. Now go on for your walk.
You knew what was happening and all you did was sit and watch?
Do you think I enjoyed it?
Yeah. I think you did.
You didn't walk very far. I was going to tell you after we got to Montana. I guess it doesn't matter. Of course, it would be better if Heath doesn't know about it.
You can't do this, Ward.
Oh, come on now. Look, Nora.
I've closed my eyes to a lot of things. And I told myself that they didn't matter. But not this time. You can't do this to Heath, and if you don't tell him, I will.
Nora, we are this close. Just this close to having everything I always wanted for us.
But I've already got everything I ever wanted right here.
What, this place?
Yes. That's what I came back to tell you. To beg you not to take the money from Heath. Ward, we could make something for ourselves here. We could...
Oh, no. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life scratching in dirt for a living. Now, you don't want the money? Okay, don't take it. But I'm going to.
Please?
Look, why don't you go back to that saloon where I found you? Maybe you'd like it better there.
I'm going to Heath. And I'm going to tell him.
No, look, please, I'm sorry. I didn't...
Let me go.
I didn't mean to...
Let me go.
No, I'm not going to let you go. You're not going to tell Heath. You promise me that?
No.
You're not going to Heath. You promise me that?
Ward, you're choking me. I can't breathe.
You promise me you're not going to Heath? You're not going to tell Heath. Not now, not ever. You're...
Ward?
Nora? Nora. Come in. Did you bring it? Yep. Thanks, old buddy.
Where's Nora?
I think she said she was going for a walk or something.
Oh. Well, good luck in Montana.
Thanks a lot.
And you'll say goodbye to Nora for me.
Yeah, sure. Heath.
Huh?
Take off your gun belt, old buddy. Toss it down there on the floor. Do it, Heath.
How long have you been walking?
A few days now.
Where did you say Nora was?
She's on the sofa. She's dead, Heath.
What?
I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. Of course, you won't believe that. And neither will anybody else. So I guess I'm going to have to kill you. I can't help it. I got to have a story that the sheriff will believe. I found you and Nora together, and I just lost my head like any husband might. I'm really sorry, Heath.
Ward, she's alive.
No. No, you're not going to make me fall for a trick like that.
Well, go on, look for yourself. Well, go on, look.
One way or another, I always foul things up, don't I?
Yeah. One way or another.
You'd think after so many rooms and so many houses, one more wouldn't matter.
You don't have to go.
Well, there's nothing here for me. I tried hard to believe that there was. Almost had myself convinced of it. You know, Ward accused me of being in love with you. I tried to deny it, but I couldn't. Because I wasn't sure. But now I know that all I really wanted was for Ward to be the man that you are.
The truth is, you've always loved him.
I don't know. Even after what's happened, I don't know. But I do know this, that Ward didn't trap me. I don't think that anyone can really trap another. I think you trap yourself and you free yourself. And I am free now. Because I no longer have to live on the hope that Ward will ever change.
And if he does?
Well, he's not far. He's in Denver. And if he does, if he really does change, he'll find me. Shall we go?
Shows no specifications for street shows, Mr. Mortensen. Oh, well, don't tell me our esteemed city attorney has dug up an ordinance against a little free entertainment.
Well, Fats, you haven't given anything away for nothing in your entire career.
Mr. Archer, well, here's 2 tickets to tonight's performance. Down front on the aisle.
First thing a man in public office learns is take a present, owe a favor. Now, Fats, just keep the noise down, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, and now for the piece de resistance, the most exciting act that's ever appeared in our fair city of Stockton. The lovely lady with the face of an angel and the voice of a nightingale, the sweetheart of the Sierras, Miss Liberty Keene, ladies and gentlemen. She's been called the songbird of Sacramento, the golden voice of the Golden State. And you will hear that lovely voice on our stage here this evening.
Let's hear something now.
Well, friend, we can't do a whole show here on the street, but if you'll be in our theater tonight...
Let's hear what she can do. Come on, girlie. Give us a sample.
Oh, well, now, look, friend, I just got through telling you that we can't...
You gonna start singing a song, or do I start shooting?
Heaven preserve us from impetuous young fools. It's all right, folks. It's all right. It's all part of the act. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Ambrose, the man whose keen eye and steady hand has won him 53 medals from the crowned heads of Europe. And if you think that was sharpshooting, just wait till you see his performance on our stage tonight.
Take them in, Deputy. There was no real harm done, Mr. Archer. Fats here was just drumming up business for his new show. I know what he was doing. And you heard what I said. Now, I'm gonna have to run you in for this, Fats.
Justice will triumph, ladies and gentlemen. Never fear. The curtain at Morton's Theater will go up at 8 o'clock sharp tonight.
Round up your songbird and let's go.
Well, if you'd waited, I could have told you it was part of the act.
They'll need a lawyer. Will you help them out?
Well, Heath, I can't do that unless they ask me.
Well, I'm asking you.
And may call it entertainment. But the fact is, discharging firearms on a city street is in violation of Ordinance 116 and punishable by a fine of $300.
$300? Archer, you know I can't spare that kind of money.
Well, it seems to me you have enough money to hire very expensive legal counsel.
Oh, well, Mr. Mortensen and I have a little agreement. Best seats in the house for opening night, right? Fred, it seems to me that under the circumstances, $300 is a bit excessive.
Well, if your client prefers, perhaps he'd take the jail sentence of 30 days.
Oh, come on now, Phil. We're only dealing with the Fats Mortensen gang, not Quantrell's Raiders.
Is that the latest in San Francisco sophistication? I mean, this is a little out of your current bailiwick. What is your interest here, Jared?
Well, like any other citizen of Stockton, I think I'd be disappointed if the show didn't go on.
So would I.
What happened out there today could have caused serious trouble.
Oh, settle down, Phil. Anybody hurt? Any damage done?
That's besides the point.
Wasn't anything to boil over about.
Well, what do you want me to do? Ignore the entire incident because Jared Barkley is involved?
Well, now, it seems to me that the punishment ought to fit the crime. Fred, why don't we have Mr. Mortensen do a show at the orphanage as a condition of his release?
Agreed, Fats?
Well, fine.
All right, it's settled then. Now clear him out of here.
Mr. Barkley, thank you very much. The tickets will be at the box office. Liberty, my dear?
Oh, it's apparent to me, Sheriff, that you and I have to reach some kind of understanding about our respective duties.
Now, don't go puffing up like a turkey gobbler, Phil. You're fresh in your job, and I've had mine for 10 years. I can see I'm going to have to cure your buck fever just like I did Jared's when he first took over your job.
How well I remember. If you'd like to hear the sad story, I'll buy you a drink.
To celebrate what? How the big-time San Francisco attorney got the best of a small-town lawyer? No, thank you.
See you later, Fred.
Message for you at the stage door.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mortensen.
Oh, you better get some food into him.
All right. Who has health, wealth, and I hope happiness.
And a Liberty Keene, sweetheart of Strawberry and now of Stockton.
You know, Heath, when I was a very little girl, Papa used to read me stories at night, and there was a book we both loved. It was about a poor ragamuffin boy who grew up to learn that he had great expectations. I'm very happy for you, Heath.
I've often wondered how you've been making out, Libby.
Well, now you know.
I'm sorry you never made it to New York, Libby. What's funny?
Oh, life. When you were 16 years old, you begged me to run away and marry you. Remember? And Papa ran you off?
Well, that wasn't funny, not to me.
Oh, nor to me. But Papa kept saying, we're just that far away, Libby. Just that far away from success. After Papa died, I went back to Strawberry to look for you. But it was too late. You'd already gone. I guess everything turns out for the best.
Did it, Libby?
Just think, if I had run off with you that summer, why, right now, you wouldn't be a dashing, eligible bachelor entertaining actresses with champagne suppers.
Well, I don't make a habit of it. The suppers or the proposals.
I know that. Any other man would have arranged this whole supper just to show a girl what she missed. Not you. You're kind and concerned. It's almost as if you still cared a little.
You don't stop caring about people just because you're separated.
Keith, if only we could turn time back. If we could just be the way we used to be. But I guess that isn't possible. But I had tonight, and I'll always be grateful for that.
That sounds like you're saying goodbye.
That's right.
But why?
Well, I'm not sure what time the saloons close here in Stockton, but When they do, the great Ambrose will come weaving his way back to the theater. And if I'm not there...
And if you're not there, what?
He'll either fall asleep in a drunken stupor or be waiting up for me in a wild, jealous rage.
Well, does he have a right to be jealous?
He's my husband. I needed somebody to look after me. Don't you see? Like Papa used to do. So I settled for Ambrose. Just like everything else in my life, it went wrong. I ended up taking care of him.
I'll take you back now, Libby.
You're angry with me, aren't you? Well, I guess you have every right to be. Heath, if what I did tonight seems, well, shameless to you, I'm sorry. It's just that living the way I do, you learn to snatch at a moment of happiness. I thought I could stop loving you, Heath. But I guess I never will.
A touching reading, my dear. But then you've made a specialty of these scenes, haven't you?
No, he's drunk.
Not that drunk, my dear. Just remember what I told you, I never kill. I never have to. I can place a bullet so that life isn't worth living.
Goodbye, Heath.
Libby, I can't let you.
Oh, I'll be all right. After all, where else could he find such a willing target?
My wife has a penchant for rich, young admirers. But strangely enough, she always comes back to me.
Are you all right?
Hurry!
I killed him.
You had no choice. Don't look like that, darling. It was the only thing you could do.
Come here. Well, Heath Barkley. What'd he do, rob the Frisco Mint?
Shut up, Tedro.
Sheriff, now that this here's such a high-class jail, I'll be expecting a doily on my breakfast tray.
I can't help this, Heath. Rules.
When Jared gets here, ask him if he knows a smart lawyer.
You won't be needing a smart lawyer. You can get away with murder just so long as your name's Barkley.
You said you knew Heath Barkley in the mining camps.
That's right.
How well did you know him?
I told you we grew up together. We were friends.
Just friends?
What's going on here? Where's Heath?
He's in a cell, Jared. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to lock him up.
I apologize for treating him just like any other murder suspect.
How many times do I have to tell you it was self-defense? Why won't he listen to me?
Now, you remember Miss Keene by her stage name. She's the victim's wife. Heath shot her husband tonight.
What makes you use the word murder?
I believe I said murder suspect. At the moment, it's just a death under mysterious circumstances until the coroner's jury says otherwise.
You're scheduling an inquest?
3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at the theater where the shooting took place.
Tell me something, Archer. Have you really got a case, or is this just a chance to make the Barclays sweat?
I'm not a fool, Jared. I have a case. A good one.
Look, just because you bail me out of jail, you don't have to follow me around.
What's the matter? You object to my company?
I just want to see Liberty alone.
Now, for appearance's sake, it would be a lot wiser for you to avoid any personal contact until after the inquest.
Appearances be hanged. Now, I'm not letting Liberty face this alone.
Oh, Heath, I was so worried about you.
I got here as soon as I could. Whatever arrangements she's made, I'll take care of everything.
Now, I don't want you to feel...
Now, it's all settled. Now, you're coming back to the house and stay with us until this is all over.
Well, thank you. I don't think I could face going back to that theater alone right now.
Heath, the inquest is at 3 o'clock. I think it would be better if you stayed in town.
Well, we can come back. We both have to clean up and change clothes.
This is hardly an appropriate costume for an inquest.
Well, I'm sure Audrey can find you something. Let's go home. I'm fine, Mother.
Is it all straightened out?
I'll explain later.
Mother, Audrey, this is Liberty Keene.
I'm very glad to know you.
How do you do?
How do you do? I wish we were meeting under happier circumstances.
I do, too.
I've invited Libby to stay a few days with us.
Good.
I hope I'm not imposing.
Not at all.
Oh, what a lovely chandelier. Heath, do you remember the one back in Strawberry? The one in the hotel? You remember the bet I won for Papa?
Her father made a bet that Libby could rattle the crystals with her singing.
I broke some of them. The money Papa won helped pay for the repairs.
Libby, why don't you try and get some rest?
Audrey, would you show our guest to her room?
Come on, Heath. We got some talking to do.
Never get arrested for murder in a pair of tied boots.
Well, Heath?
Now, don't get that look. There's nothing to worry about.
There's plenty to worry about. And the sooner you get that through your head, the better off you'll be.
The great Ambrose tried to kill me. I shot him in self-defense. How many ways can I say it?
Then why does Phil Archer call it murder?
How should I know?
He's much too smart to try for an indictment without some pretty good evidence.
Happened just like I told you.
Now, let me see if I've got this straight. You and the victim's wife renewed an old love affair over a midnight supper at the Alhambra Club.
It was never an affair.
Then you returned her to the theater at a rather late hour and were confronted by her understandably angry husband.
He was drunk, crazy jealous. Life with him must have been hell for her.
A relationship nonetheless sanctified by marriage vows.
Jared, is this necessary?
I'm afraid it is. Now tell me again what happened in that alley.
He made threats. She went inside.
Threats against whom?
Me.
And in spite of those threats, you entered a dark theater and killed him. A professional marksman in a fair fight. Now, do you expect the jury to believe that?
Jared, you got it all wrong.
Haven't I told the truth?
It's the words you use.
You expect the prosecutor to use nicer words?
All right, Jared. Now, you've acted out the devil's advocate. Why? Surely you don't think Heath is guilty?
course I don't think he's guilty. The trouble is, how are we going to prove it?
Well, I'll match Jared against that smug Jaybird Archer any day. Well, wake me in an hour, huh?
All right, isn't it?
Sure it is. There's nothing to worry about. And we'll tell it just like it happened, and that'll be the end of it. Libby, I was raised on trouble. It'll be all right. Trust me.
Read all about the murder. Read all about the murder in the theater. Come and get your paper now.
You can't go on shouting about a murder. This can't rightfully be called a murder until a coroner's jury says a crime has been committed. Now, when they do that, then we can legally accuse a suspect.
The day this town accuses a Barkley is the day the horn will sound judgment.
Well, now, don't sell your fellow citizens short. They're honest men, and they'll hand down an honest verdict without fear or favor.
Wonder how much it will cost him to get out of this.
Heath was standing right there, right where you are, with a gun in his hand.
Did he say anything?
He said, I killed him.
I killed him. That'll be all, Sheriff. Thank you. Unless you wish to bring forward any other facts pertinent to this murder.
The word murder, Mr. Archer, is completely out of order here.
I stand corrected. And remind you that any defense of your brother at this time is equally out of order.
And I remind you both that this is an inquest, not a trial, and I am in charge. You're dismissed, Sheriff. Do you have any further witnesses, Mr. Archer?
Yes, sir. Call Mrs. Liberty Keene Carson, please.
Mrs. Carson? Place your hand on the book. Swear to tell the truth as you see it, so help you.
I do.
Now, you are Liberty Keene, the widow of Ambrose Carson.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. And the great Ambrose was billed as the world's finest pistol shot. Is that correct?
That's right.
Well, isn't it ironic that he should be shot dead in a fair fight?
But it was a fair fight. Ambrose had a gun in his hand and was stalking Heath when I called out to warn him.
Well, madam, I find it very peculiar that you should show greater loyalty to a stranger than you did to your own husband.
I told you before, Heath Barkley and I are old friends. We grew up together in the mining camps.
An old friend who saw nothing reprehensible about a clandestine supper with a married woman?
Heath knew nothing of my marriage.
I trust the prosecutor will introduce into evidence the fact that the young lady and my brother met just yesterday, for the first time in 7 years. Hardly enough time to hatch a conspiracy, gentlemen.
Sir, I have no evidence of conspiracy. Only evidence of a cold-blooded murder. Well, gentlemen of the jury, I'd like you to recall the coroner's report that was read to you earlier. It stated that the witness's husband was a victim of 2 bullet wounds, one in the right arm and the second fatal one in the right temple. Now, the deed isn't very hard to reconstruct, is it? The first shot hit him in his right arm, his gun arm, preventing him from returning any fire with any degree of accuracy. Then the killer came forward and, taking careful aim, shot out his victim's life. Now, that's the way it happened, isn't it?
No.
No, it happened some other way. Or no, you didn't see him shoot your husband because you ran outside when the gun started going off. Well, that's it, isn't it? That's it. You were lying when you said you saw a shooting in self-defense. You didn't see anything. You didn't see anything.
I told the truth. It was the truth.
You told a lie. You told a lie in order to save a man about whom you were so concerned after the shooting. A man you call darling standing over the dead body of your husband. Motive for murder, gentlemen. Lust for a beautiful woman. A motive as old as original sin.
Makes sordid reading, doesn't it? I heard the porter call you Mr. Barkley. Are you one of them? What's it to you? Well, don't get huffy. I'm Fletcher of the Oakland Bulletin. If there's another side to that story, I'm the man to see it gets into print. Anything to say?
Nothing. Been a Salinas horse auction.
Kind of a shock, huh?
You might say that, yes.
I guess right now you're wishing the old man's cold had never come out of the woods.
Nobody says that about him to me.
You better get used to it. You're going to find people like a good scandal, Barkley. And when the mud's on you rich ones, they like it twice as much.
How's Libby? Is she all right?
She's fine.
You know, I'm glad she's got you to look after her. Libby's had a hard time all her life. Right now, there's something hurt and helpless about her. She needs somebody to take care of her.
It's you we're concerned about.
I left strict orders he was to have no visitors.
Sheriff gave Miss Barkley special permission, them being such important people and all.
Shut up, Tedrow.
Yes, may I please, Mrs. Barkley?
I'm sorry, Fred. I really can't understand your objections to my seeing my son.
Your son is about to be tried for murder. Just because his name is Barkley doesn't give him any special consideration.
Nor should it prejudice people against him.
Oh? Well, are you accusing me of prejudicial behavior, Mrs. Barkley?
Have you been reading the papers, Mr. Archer?
Neither of us can control the free press.
Not even to make it clear that half-truths have been twisted?
You have one opinion, the coroner's jury had another. The newspapers are entitled to theirs.
Not when they try to blame Heath for something beyond his control. The name he bears.
Well, it seems to me you're unduly sensitive on that point.
It's my name and I'm proud of it. I don't like seeing it smeared. Do you really believe there would be all this newspaper notoriety if a Barkley weren't involved? Would it cause statewide interest if that man Tedrow were on trial?
Now, I'll overlook your doubts about my integrity, Mrs. Barkley. But let me tell you this. Your coming here didn't help his case at all. I intend to examine every word of the testimony of the widow and the defendant, and if there's any change, well, there could be an accusation of conspiracy with you as intermediary.
That was not the purpose of my visit. You have my word for that.
And the word of a Barkley is sacrosanct.
There's only one step from envy to hate, Mr. Archer. And I think you've already taken it. Jared.
Oh, Mother.
Hi.
How is he?
Oh, very calm, for my benefit. I'm afraid you can't see him. Phil Archer says no one but Jared can see him until the trial.
Well, I just want to tell him I'm back and he had nothing to worry about, so.
I'll tell him, Nick. See you both at the house.
The rig is over here.
Does that mean you're sure he's going to be acquitted? It means he'd no more commit murder than herd sheep. Then you Barkleys intend to stand behind him all the way. With everything we've got. You ought to be more careful with words. That could be construed as a threat to use the Barkley money, prestige, and influence to make sure your brother gets off.
Well, now, I wouldn't say it quite that way if I were you.
You trying to tell me what I can write?
I'm trying to tell you you misquote me and you're going to get yourself in an awful lot of trouble.
That a threat?
That's a promise.
Thank you for a very good quote, Mr. Barkley. I think you're going to find out you aren't so high and mighty.
Nick!
I suggest you pour yourself a drink, Nick. I guarantee you're going to need it.
Oh? Why?
We have our name in the paper.
Ranching heir Nick Barkley today threatened... What a filthy, rotten lies.
How can they print lies like that about important people?
Well, it's a rather involved question of semantics. Now, Nick may have only said promise to that newspaper man, but I understand he said it rather forcefully.
Well, now, what was I supposed to do? Just let him get away with it?
You know, your father used to say, when you wear a silk hat, you must be able to duck. Otherwise, you make yourself a target for every bobtail who can throw a rock. Now, that's the price you pay for being a Barkley.
Yeah. Only in Heath's case, it could be a lot more than just rocks. It could be a rope.
No, they can't. They can't do that, not to Heath. We won't let them, will we, Jared?
Believe me, Liberty, we'll do everything we can.
Jared, you have got to make them listen. You've got to make them understand how he was. He was cold and cruel and insanely jealous. If only I hadn't gone to see Heath that night. If I hadn't screamed after Ambrose hit me. That's why Heath came back. To help me. Now we've got to find a way to help him.
What do you mean you're going to get another lawyer to defend me?
Now, calm down, will you? Porter Hammond is one of the best. He's a master with the jury.
The prosecutor wants to see you, Jared. It's important.
All right.
Jared. We don't need another lawyer.
I think we do. Public opinion is running against us. We need somebody outside the family.
No. I put my money on you, and it's staying on you.
Hammond is on his way over here.
I'm starting to feel sorry for you. He's trying to back out. Maybe you ain't such a member of the family as you thought.
I wouldn't have believed it of you, Jared. I wouldn't have believed you've been so stupid.
He had nothing to do with it. I told you that.
Nothing to do with what?
Go on, tell the big-time San Francisco lawyer what you just told me.
Well?
I killed Ambrose.
Well, doesn't that surprise you, Barkley?
Archer thinks you put her up to it, figuring a jury would go easier on a pretty woman.
Well, Liberty, if you're telling the truth, that means that Heath is lying, doesn't it? He must be taking the blame for you.
Heath knew nothing about it. The theater was dark. He didn't see me fire the shot.
With the what? With a gun you just happened to have in your hand?
The gun case was on the table. Ambrose had one. I used the other.
And you claim that in the dark, with all those bullets flying around, yours was the one that killed him?
I'm a very good shot.
Really? Sheriff, let me have your pistol. We'll check and see how well Mr. Barkley has coached you.
Don't push me too far, Phil. I don't need her to win this case, and you know it.
Well, just in case you're tempted, we'll put her to the test. Look, that wanted poster up on the wall, the man in the poster. Go ahead, shoot him. Now, were your hands shaking that much that night? Go ahead, it's dark. The guns are going off. Show us how you hit him. Go ahead. Go ahead, you don't have the time now. Go ahead and shoot.
All right.
You realize you might have gone to prison if your ability to handle a gun had been any better? You lied here, and you'll lie on the stand.
Reconstructing the crime, Counselor?
Something like that. Those are the dressing rooms, huh?
Yeah.
Would you mind unlocking them for me?
Oh, not at all. Oh, say, by the way, if it's any use to you, Ambrose was hitting the bottle pretty hard that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I noticed it before they went on. I told her to get some food into him. Poor thing, I sure feel sorry for her.
This is hers, huh?
Oh, yeah, this is his right next to it. I wonder what she's going to do now. It's kind of hard on a young woman, all alone and near broke. She never could make it singing. I guess she can always go back to sharpshooting.
I didn't know Liberty did any shooting.
Oh, sure. Ambrose taught her all kinds of trick shots. They cut their act once a couple of years ago. Just like all the others, until he got the bright idea of making her the unexpected target. You know, kind of surprise the audience. Him pretending he's drunk and she's in danger. When you're finished, I'll be in my office.
Thank you very much.
Just a minute.
Well, may I come in?
Well, is it something that can't be taken care of at the office?
I've come to ask a favor, Phil. A big one.
Come in. Sit down.
I didn't know you still paid the tuba, Phil.
Why should you know? We haven't traveled in the same circle since we were in law school together.
Seems to me we were friends then.
People and water, they both seek their own level. What is the favor, Jared?
Phil, I want you to consider, just for the sake of argument, the possibility that Liberty might have been telling the truth yesterday.
You know, I figured you were bluffing when you said you didn't need her to win your case.
She said she was a good shot.
Yeah, well, you saw how good.
Good enough to be part of the act at one time.
Then how do you explain what happened yesterday?
Nervousness, cold feet, or possibly the expert way you drove at her. At any rate, she was at the scene of the crime, and I'm convinced she had a reason for wanting Ambrose dead.
Speculation. There's no way to prove that.
But there is. We can compare the death bullet with a bullet fired from Heath's gun.
Hell, the bullet was never removed.
Why not?
Well, Heath was found standing over a dead man with a gun in his hand. He confessed to the killing. There was no need to mutilate the body.
Phil, I want to see those bullets. I want you to agree to an order of exhumation. That's the favor.
He's buried in the churchyard. That's consecrated ground.
I know that, but there's legal precedent. It was ordered in San Francisco 3 months ago.
But this is not San Francisco. Here in Stockton, the dead have a right to sleep undisturbed.
What's more important, Phil? Respect for the dead or justice for the living?
I'm a public official. Now, that's very important to me. I've worked very hard for a very long time.
May I ask what that has to do with it?
Well, I wouldn't expect a successful big city lawyer to understand. I'm only interested in justice, equal justice.
What is it you resent, Phil? The fact that I didn't have to work as hard for success as you did?
Don't be ridiculous.
Then why are you out to get Heath? Why do you refuse to even consider the possibility that he may be innocent?
Because he is guilty. And none of your courtroom magic can cheat justice.
You know something? You're infected. Infected with the same blind rich man, poor man prejudice that's spreading all through this town. Or are you the source of it?
Get out of here. Go on, get out.
Sorry, boys.
You can go ahead home, Fred.
And let you rob a grave? I can't do that.
We've got permission.
Not from Archer. You went to the judge?
We figure that bullet can clear Heath.
Or put a rope around his neck?
I didn't expect this kind of cooperation, Phil. I want to thank you.
You're risking everything, Barkley. Your reputation, your career, and your brother's life.
Libby, what are you doing here?
Mr. Archer said there may be a way I could help you.
Well, that isn't quite correct. I wanted you here while we conducted this experiment. You see, Mr. Barkley has a theory that it was you who killed your husband.
That's a lie. She couldn't have.
I wish I had. I wish it had been me instead of Heath.
Jared, you leave her out of this.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Heath. You see, bullets from the same gun have identical markings and weight. Now, we're going to compare the death bullet, the one on that scale there, with the bullet from Heath's gun.
This is your gun, isn't it?
That's right.
They are, Phil.
Well, this scale is from the assay department of the bank. It's completely accurate.
I was so sure. I was so very sure.
I had to kill him. I had to. I was afraid for Heath. Ambrose would have killed him. It would have been my fault. All my fault.
You didn't have to kill him to prevent that. You're an expert shot, Liberty. Despite that deceptive exhibition you put on here, you could have placed this bullet anywhere you wanted. You wanted him dead.
She won't shoot me. Libby? Libby. I'll get a doctor.
No.
Don't try to talk.
I have to talk. I have to make you understand. I never wanted to hurt you, Heath. I never thought you'd go to trial. Thought the Barclays were too important.
Libby, there's no need to explain.
Help me, Heath. Make them understand. I had to kill him. You saw how he was. How he treated me. How else could I escape? How else could I marry you?
Libby.
Where are all the bright lights Papa promised? Where, Papa? I came close, Papa. So close. Our dream almost came true. Just that far away.
Libby? Libby? Libby.
I don't like to see you punish yourself this way.
They're both dead. She killed Ambrose because of me.
No. She killed him because she was too weak at 16 to live your kind of life, and too weak at 25 to live with her own mistakes.
I keep remembering when we were kids. All of the things she wanted. And all her life, they were just out of reach. Just that far away.
She wanted the wrong things. And she could have had so much. So very much.
I've come to apologize. Well, you were right about me. It was a personal resentment of you. Of your success and your way with people. Oh, if either of you want further satisfaction, we can go out behind the barn.
Well, what do you think, Heath? Down by Snyder's Creek? Well, since there isn't going to be any trial tomorrow, we can see if the fish are biting.
Well, after everything that happened...
If it'll make you feel any better, Phil, you can dig the worms.